Welcome to the Learn to Educate podcast. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Feel free to leave a like or comment at any point throughout the episode. Now let's begin.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Learn to Educate podcast. This episode is the effects of drugs. We wrote down a couple subtopics such as personal experiences, mental effects, physical effects, medicinal drugs, and recreational drugs. So I'm going to close this out and we can get started. Boom. We here. We back. What's going on, everybody? Jahmeel, let's start the episode off. And you tell everybody what you did this morning. I know we had a little chat before saying that we both procrastinated a little bit in the morning, and that's okay. So
today was pretty chill though. Ate some breakfast, eggs, turkey, bacon, the usual. And then I was supposed to do my work straight off the bat, but then I got distracted and I decided to play some poker, right? It's not real bread, it's all fake. But yeah, I was playing some poker and went on a little streak and I got distracted. So that took like an hour off my time. And then after that I got my work done.
At least you procrastinated and did something. Like the only reason I was procrastinating because I didn't want to get out of bed, bro. At least he was doing something. But
yeah, I don't know. Could have done better. What about you? Yes. What you did?
This morning was all right. I woke up like 9 o'clock, laid in bed a little bit, just went on my phone because I didn't want to get up. But then I realized I had the day off to do everything I could. So I got up, went to the gym, worked out legs and abs today. Obviously, just got home, had a little protein bar, and now we're here.
You worked at your glutes?
Nah, bro. That's all you. That's caked up, son. All right. So, on a serious note, today we're here to talk about the effects of drugs. And these first couple episodes that we've been uploading, I noticed that a lot of people have been telling us that you want us to be more relatable and talk more about ourselves in these instead of just talking about what we know about things. So this episode, you're going to hear a lot about us, a lot of past experiences with drugs, but don't worry, we're not like drug addicts or anything like that. That's not what it's about. But yeah, so I don't know really where to take this one. So I'm going to give this one to Jahmeel. You can take the lead on this one, and then I'll say what I got to say.
We can start off on what? The positives? I want to talk about the positives first.
Yeah, we can talk about the positives.
Okay. I think drugs are I think everybody should take drugs every day. Nah. I think drugs they're helpful for some people. They could be used for medical reasons, mental reasons, or if you just want to take a day off and just chill out, Pretty sure nowadays everybody just, smokes weed.
Right. Especially now it's legal.
Yeah. But like back in high school though, we used to smoke like I think that was like peak. I think that was peak.
Definitely.
We were in high school just smoking. But I mean, as for positives, what do you think are like do you have any like research on that? On some positive stuff?
Yeah, so I did a little bit of research yesterday. So like pretty much there's not many positives. Like if we're talking about recreational drugs, there's not that many positives other than like it kind of like relieves your depression and anxiety and like takes you like away from reality and kind of like gives you like a little bit of like a serotonin boost. But at the same time, it's more like a temporary positive because as soon as that high is over and you just start coming back down, you're going to come back to the same way that you were before you took the drug. So honestly, I really don't think that recreational drugs have that many positives outside of what I just said. And then also another positive is a lot of people bank on the fact that when they smoke, they can concentrate better. Like if they have like a test or whatever, or they just need to stay focused and like study. A lot of people like to like smoke or like take a pill or whatever just to like mellow out and just focus in. But I feel like that when that happens and people start to take drugs and like depend on them to do certain things, that's when the misuse comes in. You know
like that? Yeah. I mean, there's multiple I mean, there's a shit ton of drugs out there, and
Right.
I mean, one of the most famous drugs and openly used drugs is coffee.
Right.
Pretty much almost everybody takes coffee, and it's mainly for like their cognitive like functionings, so that they
Hmm.
can do things more. I don't know. You're more like focused when you're drinking coffee and stuff. Like I used to
Right.
drink coffee like every day, but nowadays I drink coffee like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday because those are like my in between work days. I mean, I work those days, but like I feel like that's like a safe amount when you use it when you drink coffee and then you stop for a little bit and then you drink it again. Cause like I used to drink it every day and like it was messing up like my energy levels. So it was like kind of messing me up on that on my day to day.
Right. That's
You
what
ever
a lot of
drink
people don't
coffee?
understand. I mean, I
Yeah.
honestly I've tried to drink coffee a couple times, but to be honest, I just don't like the bitterness taste of it. I
Mm.
really don't like that
Bro,
at all.
mad
And then
sugar, bro. Mad sugar.
that's what I'm saying. And then people just like, in order
That's
to get rid
facts.
of the bitterness, they just add mad milk and mad like sweeteners and syrups and shit. And at that
Yeah.
point, you just make it like diabetes in a cup. So like, pretty much just fuck that.
I think
So
it's mainly the
yeah, I don't
feel
like
of
it.
it though.
Yeah,
It's the feel of that little. I mean, it's
that
basically a high
boost.
though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what people don't understand is that when you hear the word drugs, people just think of like pills or they think of like smoking something or lighting up something. Like you said, coffee is a drug too because it's addictive and it gives you a boost. And also, on top of that, alcohol is also considered a drug because it
Consider
impair it.
it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It impairs like your state of mind and makes you slower and all that. So that's also considered a drug. So I took a couple notes down and basically they they pretty much break down like drugs into like three different categories. So
Mm.
analgesics is like narcotics like heroin, morphine, fentanyl, and codeine. So like that's like the hard shit. Like that's like you
That's
go to
some rapper shit.
Brownsville and
Yeah.
yeah, fuck
Nigga
that.
said Brownsville.
And then depressants obviously like alcohol, tranquilizers and nicotine. So like I don't see how nicotine really fits into a
I
depressant.
mean, Nick, depressant. Mm. I
That's what I'm
mean, nicotine
saying.
is definitely addictive though.
100%. It's one of the most addictive.
100%.
Like everybody in high school smokes that shit. It went from Juul to fucking Mile to Elf Bar and all this bullshit. All my friends smoked
Yeah,
that. I
I
just
wasn't
can't get
on
into
Jules
it to be
though. I
honest.
wasn't on Jules though.
Yeah,
I
nah.
don't
And then
know.
after that, they got stimulants, and this is also the hard shit. And they got
Uh,
cocaine, they got meth. Shout out Walter White. Then they got ecstasy. So obviously, like people would take that when going to like a function. You know what I'm saying? You go to
mm,
like EZoo or like EDM concert and stuff like that. People take all that, and then they have hallucinogens like obviously like LSD and mescaline and mushrooms and
mm,
marijuana, ketamine, and all the above. But to be honest, personally,
mm.
I've only ever did weed. But do you want to share any of your insight on your uh your
Um,
experience with taking
I
LSD?
mean, when it when it
We're
comes to
not we're not
like,
condoning this anyway. But hold on, before you say that, we're not condoning the use of any drugs in this episode. Do not take drugs. They're just setbacks. Do not take it. So him talking about this right now is just him telling you about his experience. This is not to tell you that it's okay to take it. It's not. Go ahead.
I think that I mean, this goes on with the positives, I guess. The positive would be experiences, right? Because we both, smoked weed throughout our teenage years, right?
Right.
And those experiences, like, you know, they're it was like a phase where it's like it's a whole chapter of your life that you went through.
Right.
And all the memories that you made, all the experiences that you made, the people that you met during those times will always be memorable. And you know that when you're taking, drugs like weed, it would, alter your perception of what's going on. It may feel like amazing in in that moment,
Right.
but it could also be negative also. So I say that weed would be my favorite. drug. What about you? I mean, you would say because
I mean, I only really took weed, but I want you to tell them about your LSD experience, because like when you think of LSD, everybody thinks, oh, trippy, just hallucinating in the eyes. You see colors, see things moving. Is it like that, or is it not like that?
honestly, it is like that. It
Okay.
is like that. I took, I took shrooms twice in my life.
Okay.
I took shrooms twice in my life, and well, the first time was what was it? The first time I went, no, I was hanging out with my friend, right, and we planned on taking shrooms, and we had like a specific plan to like what we want to think about and dwell on, because when you're taking hallucinogens, and the whole objective is to have like a deeper sense of thinking, because you're more like emotional when
Right.
you're on acid or whatever.
Mm.
So I wrote a plan and stuff for what I want to like think about in my life in that time. So we took shrooms, right? And I was looking into the mirror, bro, and I was like, I'm not feeling anything. And then like 20 minutes later, I look into it again, and I'm just like, bro, I'm fucking beautiful, bro. like, like I look fucking beautiful. I was like, I never looked at myself this way. I was like, dude, I'm fucking beautiful, bro. Why haven't I been telling myself this before? Like, I'm beautiful.
That's fucking
And
hilarious.
I tell my friend, yo, look into the mirror, man. Look at yourself. He's like, whoa, I'm fucking beautiful. Like I started crying, bro. I was tearing up. I was like, "Yo, this is crazy."
Nah, that's insane.
It's like a whole different level of emotion that you're feeling in that moment. So after that, we went to get some food, and then everything you look at was like fascinating. Everything in life was just like appreciated. Like I looked at this green bottle of juice, and I was like, "Bro, this shit looks delicious." And I had to buy that. I got chopped cheese. I was talking to the dude. I was like, "Yo, thank you so much for packaging my food." Then we went to the park, and it was like sunny and green. All the colors were just like blowing up
Vibrant.
in your face.
Yeah.
Exactly, it was like beautiful. And then there was people in a circle at the park playing bongos, and there was some people dancing in the middle. And me and my friend just sat on the side eating food, and the sun was just shining on the whole area, and we're just chilling. We're like, yo, this is a beautiful day. That part was beautiful. That was like, it was epic.
Then the come
But
down.
yeah, dude, the come down, it lasts like 10 hours to 12 hours. So you're tripping for like 10 to 12 hours. And for a second, we went to just walk around, and I literally lost him. I lost my friend. I
Oh
was
no.
like, where the fuck did he go, bro? And the first thing that popped into my head was the worst case scenario. Like I thought he got kidnapped, like straight up. I was freaking out. I was like, yo, he got fucking kidnapped. Where he at? I started
No,
calling
that's
him
really
like 10
funny.
times, bro. And then he called me, and I found out he was hanging out with some random people. And then, those one wheelers
Yeah,
that
yeah.
yeah. So he borrowed somebody's one wheel and was just riding around. He was like, yo, look at me.
That's fucking insane, dude.
Yeah, I was
That's
like, yo, don't
crazy.
ever do that shit, bro. I thought you died. But like it's a whole different like projection of emotion when you're like
Right.
tripping though. So I find it like extremely nice.
To come away from LSD for a little bit, I wanted to talk about marijuana, since that's both of our favorite drugs. But so since you told the story about your whole LSD experience, I'll talk about the first time I ever smoked weed. I don't know if you
Mm,
remember this. I think I told you about it. So, first time I ever smoked weed, damn, it's 2023. It was before COVID. Maybe it was like 5 years ago. Maybe it was like 2018 or something like that.
mm.
So I showed up to your house. Eric was chilling with you. It was when your room had that had like the desk in front of the couch, and you just had the TV on the desk. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah, yeah.
Like the little coffee
Yeah.
table or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Your room went through a ton of transitions, but
Bro, that was the vibe
that
though.
one,
I loved
that
it.
one specifically. So I showed up. I was a little bit nervous because this is my first time doing it, and then one of
Mm-hmm.
y'all handed me the whatever, he piped it up or whatever, and then bro.
What's that pipe?
I was off of it, and then I remember when Daniel showed up. He came. He had a lot of weed on him, and you had brownie mix in your kitchen. So he decided to make us edibles, and you had like a pan that was like this big, and he made his own edible. So he put the
Mm.
brownie mix or whatever, added the weed, threw it in the oven, and that shit smelled absolutely amazing. So he cut it up into four since there was four of us. So like the pieces were like this big. So I was like, all right, we're gonna go do something later. Let me just chill out. So all y'all were just eating like a little bit of it, and I was eating a little bit of it, but it tasted so fucking good, bro,
I
that I
remember.
decided to take it all at once. I just ate
Did
the
you?
entire thing. I ate the whole thing. And then after that, we went out and we came home. Oh my God. When we came home, I laid out on your bed. I was sweating and I was hyperventilating, and I literally just laid out like Jesus on the fucking cross, bro. And I just like knocked out. Like I heard you guys trying to talk to me, and like I was just like mute. I couldn't hear anything. I saw your mouths moving, but I was just there, and I greened out. And that was at like 8 o'clock. I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Daniel was gone. Eric was sleeping, and you were just doing some random shit. I woke up. I fucking picked my phone up. There's like 10 missed calls from my mom saying like, "Where are you? Where are you?" And I was like, I wasn't supposed to stay over your house that day. I was just supposed to go home. So my mom was like wondering where I was. She was calling me.
Oh, I think I remember that actually. Yeah.
I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then I was like, "Oh, I'm at Jahmeel. Sorry, I forgot to tell you that I'm staying over." And she's like, "Okay, I'm mad at you for not answering me for so long." I said, "I'm sorry," and then I said good night, and then I just went back to sleep. But the first time I ever smoked weed or ingested marijuana, I greened out, and that was fucking hilarious, dude.
Dude. I didn't, yo, I don't remember you actually ate the whole thing. Did you really?
I ate the whole
That was a
fucking thing,
lot.
bro.
That was a
I'm
full
telling you, it was like
batch.
this big piece.
Bro, it was a
Cut it into
fucking cake,
fours.
bro. It was
Yeah,
a
that
whole
shit was
cake.
crazy. So yeah, weed's definitely. Do you have like a cool weed story to tell?
Cool weed story.
I mean, I have another one, but I just want to give you time to talk.
I have a lot of stupid ones. I'm not gonna lie.
Me too. Me too.
I
Me
have
too.
a lot of stupid ones.
Bad
It's
ones, yeah.
funny, but it's stupid. Um, what's a good one? What's a good one?
Bro, punch bars are fucking dangerous, bro. You ever had a punch bar?
I had one, yeah. I didn't want one after that.
Dangerous, bro. I took 3 squares, so they're 30 milligrams a square, and there's 9 squares. So obviously 30 times 3 is 90. So I took
Mhm.
90 milligrams, which is a lot, bro. Which is a lot. So I took that, and on top of that, my sister just got back from Vegas. And obviously in Vegas, you know how they have like dispensaries and stuff.
Mhm.
So she went to the dispensary and she came home. She brought me like a cool like Vegas lighter, but then she also brought me home these edibles. They were like gummies. They were like flavored like blue raspberry gummies.
Mhm.
So aside from the punch bar, fuck that. That just got me messed up bad. But another day, I took the gummies and basically I took one. I was like, all right. Like I put on like a YouTube video. I was with my friend Jeremy and I was just watching it and I was like, bro, this shit is not kicking in. So 10 minutes, so like 5 minutes later, I took another one, threw it in my mouth. He took one too. So there was like two. So we waited another like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And I was like, bro, I'm still not feeling this. And then I decided to take a third one without reading the bag. So I took the third one and then after that, I was like, "Ah, this really isn't hitting me." I read the bag. It says you have to wait an hour in between increasing dosage. So I took three within 35 minutes. When I tell you that I couldn't function for an entire day, I'm not joking. I was in the house. We decided to go out to get food. I was like, I went to the pizzeria that's up the block from my house, and I was with Jeremy, and I was like, "Bro, you got to order for me." So I told him to order me like a chicken parm sandwich or something. So he ordered it for me, and I'm just sitting waiting like for the food to be made. And I just have my head down, and like I tell Jeremy, I was like, "Yo, come here, come here." So he comes next to me, and I'm like, "Bro, I don't know how I'm gonna get home." I was like, "I can't walk right now." I was like, "I can't move." So then like I went up and to get my food, and like the lady was like, "Oh, here you go," and I was like, "Thank you, thank you," and I could not stop laughing. I just walked away. I came home, I laid on my bed, and I just fucking knocked out, bro. It
Was
was
that the time
bad.
you went to the movie theater, right? Or no?
That was another time when Elijah gave the
Yeah.
brownie, but it was a body high. So when I was at the movies, it like hit me, and I had to call Lodi to drive my car back to my house so I could get home. Man, I have a lot of stories. If y'all
That's your
want,
ton, bro.
if y'all want an episode where we just like tell straight up stories, then let us know. Comment or just let us know
Mm.
in DM, because I got a lot of stories to share. You definitely have a lot
Yeah.
of stories to share. But I
A
wanted to
lot
go back
of
to the effects of drugs rather than just
I
having a
mean
whole bunch of time.
a story to relate to the topics, I would say would be I would say you have to know what you're doing. Just like your story, the dosages, your hourly increments that you need to take it.
Right.
You need to know what you're doing, you need to know the actual effects of what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And when you're a kid, you shouldn't be doing shit like that. I would say definitely wait until you're 18 plus or 21 before you start actually doing anything.
Once again, we don't condone it. We're just saying this.
Yeah. Because when I was a kid, I was stupid and I didn't know what I was doing, right? So me and Daniel, this is like the dumbest like weed experience. We went to the park. We wanted to smoke, right? It was in high school, and I think I think we were freshmen. I'm not sure, but we wanted to smoke, right? And we couldn't like smoke it because it was fucking cold. It was like 20 fucking degrees and it was freezing. So every time we lit it, it would just like blow out. So what we did, well, we went to McDonald's, crushed up the weed,
Oh my
and put
god.
it in the fucking double cheeseburger, bro.
There's no fucking way.
And then guess what we did with some the rest of it, we poured in the fucking drinks, the Sprites.
That's
And we
disgusting.
drank and ate
That is
that shit.
fucking
And you know
disgusting.
what we thought? We thought, oh yeah, it's just like an edible.
That is so
It's just like a
disgusting.
fucking edible, right?
That's mad funny.
This is why you should know what you're doing. So
Right.
literally the next day I went to school and I was fine, but I didn't see Daniel. He didn't come to school. And then the next day I felt weird, like my stomach was acting up, right? So I threw up and I had to stay home because I didn't feel good. And I was like, what's wrong with me? And
Mhm.
then when I go to school the next day, the third day, I talked to Daniel and we're like, dude, both of us were fucked up one of those days. We're trying to correlate why did we feel that way? And we're like, it's because we fucking ate it.
Yeah.
Like, when you don't know what you're doing, you shouldn't fucking do it.
Right.
Like straight up.
Pretty much.
Because you'll mess up, bro. You'll
Right.
mess up in so many ways.
Aside from these negative talks about weed, they also do have positive effects too. Obviously, like what I said before, but also I did some research. It's also like they have medicinal marijuana for like anxiety, and it also says that obviously it could relieve pain and anxiety, and it also has potential. They haven't done that much research on it, but it also can potentially have anti-cancer effects.
Oh yeah.
So it could like prevent certain types of cancer. They don't have that much research on it yet,
I heard
but
it
back, yeah,
it stops it for a little bit or like slows down
right,
the cancer.
right. But then also it's also dangerous during pregnancy,
Mm.
and it harms the lungs. And also one thing is that it's very bad for memory. I don't know about you, but
Yeah.
like when I smoke weed, bro, and I wake up, like if I ingest like a lot of weed and I wake up the next morning, I could rarely remember what happened. Like somebody will like tell me a story and I'll be like, yo, I really don't remember that happened.
That's why
So that's one thing.
when you say about memory, I definitely fucked up my memory. This is
Yeah.
why well, I was smoking weed for way too long in high school, every almost every day for like 2 years or so. And that's the age, the teenage years when you get like kind of depressed and when you thinking about certain things.
Mhm.
So combine that with weed and it just fucks you up mentally. So this is why I quit I quit last January. I quit.
No.
Haven't smoked, ate, or done anything since. And I feel like my memory just is way better and I have way more energy for the day. So I would say if you're gonna do it, just wait for the right age. You don't want to fuck yourself up. And you
Right.
want to do it when it makes sense, when you're with certain people, when
Right.
when it's safe, and when the time is right.
You want to do it when you're aware of what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're at a young age, just like a lot of people get peer pressured into it. You know, middle school, like late middle school, early high school, all throughout high school. People love to just like you see them do it and like they come up to you and like, oh, you want to hit? And like you're like, no, I'm good. And they're like, oh, you're a pussy, you're a pussy. And then like that's when the peer pressure comes on.
Yeah,
It's never personally happened to me. I make my own fucking decisions. Nobody's gonna tell me what to do.
can't
But a
blame.
lot of people just give in, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So that happens. And then I took a couple more notes here. And once again, if anybody who's watching this vapes, I want to tell you to please try and stop now, because everybody knows that vaping is very addictive and it can cause lung issues and it could also cause cancer. And you don't want to be that person that is walking around in age 40 something with a nicotine patch on your arm because you can't stop smoking Juul or whatever the fuck people do. So please
there's
stop doing that.
also I was watching this video a while ago. It's talking about nicotine patch, and he was doing he wanted to do like a project where he focused on some certain skill that he wants to improve at, but
Mm,
he was putting on like a nicotine patch to like increase his focus and his functions.
mm,
I'm not certain with it, but I'm like I think it helps you with improving your focus of attention when you're doing
right,
activities, which is why
right.
like people resort to that. I don't know if nicotine patch is like better than like smoking nicotine. I'm
Well,
not
it's
really
still,
sure.
obviously like there's like positives and negatives to it. Like that, like you could use it in a positive way, like you just said, and just use it to like focus on certain things. But you don't want to be the person that's like so addicted to smoking vape that you get a nicotine patch so you could tell yourself to like quit cold turkey and stop smoking. You could use it for like benefit, like to benefit yourself, but you don't want to be the person that looks like a loser with a nicotine patch because you can't
Yeah.
like stop yourself from smoking and shit like that. So
And
yeah,
it's really hard to break these habit cycles that we
mm,
have, because like
right,
when you have that feeling and you're that person constantly that you're in that certain feeling where you're high all the time, or like
mm-hmm.
you smoke nicotine all the time and you have that desire. It's hard to break it immediately, just cut it off clean, but you can like slowly
One,
cut it
two,
off,
three.
you know what I mean?
All right, so enough talk about recreational drugs and vaping and stuff. So let's get into like pharmaceutical drugs and things that are supposed to help you. So I did a little bit of research and it's I basically found out that pharmaceutical drugs work faster to cure diseases and illnesses compared to herbal alternatives, and also have the capability to prevent other diseases and increase mortality rates. So it basically said that patients that take regular dosages of aspirin to treat heart conditions had a 57% lower risk of death compared to those who did not consume aspirin. So basically, pharmaceutical drugs such as aspirin and painkillers and stuff like that have its benefits, but also have its negatives. Because I also took um I did more research and I took a couple more notes, and it says that 15 million people who take pharmaceuticals in the US like misuse it. So like they abuse
Mm,
all the drugs that they're prescribed. And bro, 15 million is like 0.2% of the entire earth. And that's in the US alone. So can you just imagine like all these other countries that prescribe drugs, different people, and the
mm,
way that they just abuse and misuse it? Like
scary.
it's really, really scary. It's horrible to think about.
Connect that to like young adults also. Because young adults like they get prescribed stuff to deal with their mental problems, I guess. even though, they're not given the chance to try to figure it out like themselves. So then they take certain drugs at a young age, and when they experience those feelings, the highs from the drugs, then they are gonna abuse it. Because I remember
Right.
when I was a kid, right? I got hurt, and I took this pill, and it was for like, it was like kind of a sleeping pill, but it's to make you like relax and stuff.
Mhm.
So, and after like the pain went away, I was still using it because I was like, oh, this is cool. I might as well just use it, right? Until it's finished, instead of like throwing it out.
Right.
And I went to school, and I took a pill, and I was just like in class, just like slouched and chilling. And I'm
Right.
like, that could be like, somebody can misuse that, or like they could sell it to other people just because they got it for like, having pain for like a week. It's
Right.
so easy to like access.
Right. And also connecting to what you just said, with access, it is very easy to get these types of over-the-counter drugs. I think this is an older study, but basically Tylenol cost 50 cents to $1 per pill, and Xanax cost about $5 to $7 per pill. And you can get that from anybody. I mean, I know tons of drug dealers, and like a lot of them deal like pills and shit. And I know a couple people that have done it. Please just do not do it. I don't care if you have a big test coming up and you need to focus, do not take any of that. I don't care if you're going on a plane and you're not good with planes, you got to go to sleep, do not take Xanax. Don't do anything with pills for a temporary reason. Only do it if you are prescribed the drug and you need it to kill the pain. Do not take it for your own use that doesn't have anything to do with anything medical. Please do
And
not do it.
when the timer on that, because they have the due dates for like how long you should be taking it and such.
Right.
But like, when you're done, just throw them away, because like, you're just gonna use them for no reason, and then you're gonna feel like it's okay to do that again at a
Right.
different point in time,
It's pretty sad. I looked up a couple things about like the deaths that are caused by drugs, and in 2010 the statistics on causes of death in the US: car crashes 35,000 caused 35,000 deaths, firearms caused 31,000 deaths, and total drug overdoses caused 48,000 deaths. You know how absurd that is, dude? That's really crazy when you think about it.
It is.
Like it said that 22,000 came from pharmaceutical drug overdoses, and then 26,000 came from prescription opioid pain reliever overdoses. I mean, yeah, I get it when you have like a bad accident or whatever, and you're prescribed like these hard painkiller drugs, it's easy to get addicted to them. But like you said, after you're done with them, just throw them away, because then you're just going to get used to taking them every single day. I mean, we've lost we've lost a ton of people. Like I also looked this up, to name a couple. We lost Kurt Cobain. Obviously, everybody knows Kurt Cobain, Nirvana legend. To overdoses, we lost the greatest Joker of all time, Heath Ledger, also to drugs. We lost Chris Farley, amazing actor and comedian, and we lost Jimi Hendrix, amazing guitarist. We also lost Whitney Houston, which was not that recent, and we lost Prince. We lost Marilyn Monroe. We lost Elvis Presley. A lot of these people, like, even though they're celebrities, like they could get hooked on that shit too. You know what I'm saying? Like every drugs are very addictive. It's just based on how you take it. How you view it.
I think
So
in the culture, in the like pop culture, it's promoted a lot.
yeah.
It's promoted a lot. Just like the passing of Juice World as well, which is sad. Um, it's dangerous because like, you never know sometimes what you're gonna get.
Mhm.
You never know. It's, I don't know, it's somewhere you don't want to step.
Definitely not. And like, yeah, pharmaceutical drugs is one thing, but then also for people who like go to like therapy and stuff, and they like prescribe you like antidepressants, that also has its pros and cons as well. Obviously, yeah, it gives you serotonin boost. It makes you like view different things like in a happier perspective and more positive way, but it also um it also gives like a negative effect. Like I looked this up, it affects your sex drive, which is bad. It disrupts your sleep. It gives you weight gain. And it's pretty expensive. So, do you know anything about like antidepressants or anything like that?
Niggas, stop scratching.
Prozac, bro. I'm so itchy,
Bro,
bro.
stop
You,
scratching.
you hear it?
I was waiting for you to pause because I see the motion.
Bro, I'm so itchy. I got
You
so many
talking, you like
I got so many mosquito bites, bro. Holy shit. But yeah, antidepressants are negative and positive. So, and also for anybody who is looking to take antidepressants, everything's gonna be okay. If you really think that you need it in order to see life in a more positive way, please talk to a doctor before just getting into it. Make sure that you're able to take it because like I said, it has a lot of negative effects and it also gives you skin rashes, headaches, joint and muscle pain, it's upset stomach, nausea, diarrhea. It has a lot of side effects to it. And another thing with antidepressants, you can't just quit cold turkey. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're taking antidepressants, you can't just stop taking it. It's very dangerous to just stop taking it. So just talk to somebody and talk to your doctor and see if it's a good idea. So that's really all I had to say about that. Yeah.
It's important for the lay audience to keep the focus on the person's behavior and not on the person's brain. The person's behavior will tell you everything you need to know. Are they not showing up for work? Are they not meeting their obligations at home? Are they not meeting their obligations in school? Has the person had multiple unsuccessful attempts at cutting down or scaling back or quitting their drug use? All of these sort of signs are important indicators of whether someone is drug addicted or not. And notice, I didn't look at anyone's brain. I'm really looking at the person's behavior.
Like stated in the video, I looked into behavioral psychology a lot because I like to discover like the certain things that I'm doing wrong and not doing wrong, but rather can improve at, and certain patterns that are negatively affecting my life. And when it comes to addictions or drugs, I think that based off of your lifestyle and the certain details of your life, you will be able to see how it's affecting the certain parts of your life, the people around you, your job, your career, your schoolwork. Everything about your life can be broken down, and you can see the correlation as to how drugs may be affecting you.
Right. Yeah. I kind of understand where you come from. A better word to use is like more like a pattern. You know what I'm saying? So like the behavioral patterns that you express when taking drugs, obviously, like he said in the video, can show if you're leaning towards addiction, unfortunately. So like he said in the clip, if you're not meeting your expectations in school or at home, or people are noticing that you're not doing what you're supposed to, then you are leaning towards drug addiction.
A little story would be how I quit weed in January. And the reasoning why was that I saw my behavior, and I was basically smoking every day of my senior year in high school, through college as well, first year. And it basically became like an addiction. It was every day. and I was just every night I would smoke weed, right? And if I didn't smoke weed, it wouldn't feel like I'm myself. And then I realized that I was getting so lazy with everything I was doing. I was putting like little effort. And in order to do what I want to do in life, I couldn't be this type of person. So I decided in January that I would quit weed and I would never smoke again or eat again. So I think definitely going into behavior, you can see by your lifestyle that you can decide who you want to be. And you can see that if the behavior that you have while doing whatever you're doing isn't aligning with your goals, your aspirations, you definitely just want to cut it off completely.
Right. Yeah, I understand. It's like when you like weed has its negative effects when addicted, because when you're smoking like a lot, you begin to like get like, I mean, I'll use this term. You get the munchies. You know what I'm saying? So like if you
Oh
smoke
yeah.
like every day, it's not a healthy lifestyle, because you're just gonna want to keep eating, and then eventually you're gonna become overweight. You know what I'm saying? So like these people, like, I don't know. Plus another thing that we didn't talk about is tolerance. Some people have high tolerance and some people have low tolerance. So people like Snoop
Yeah.
Dogg, Wiz Khalifa, fucking Joey Diaz and shit like that, they have their tolerance is like fucking, you can't even like see it. It's like really insane how much somebody could intake. But then obviously somebody has like low tolerance. But a thing with weed is like as you ingest weed or smoke or eat edibles or whatever it is, as you keep doing that, you build your tolerance. So that's why a lot of times, like in high school, me or you or Eric or whatever, we'll see that we're not getting higher than we used to, and we're seeing that it's taking more in order for us to like get to that high point. Then obviously we'll have to take a, people call it in New York, a tea break.
Yeah.
You'll have to take a tolerance break so that you could just come back down and you could just like relax for a little bit, you know?
Yeah. You gotta think about that. Think of how much money you saving, bro. Like
That's another thing.
think
A
about how much
lot of
money you
money.
saving.
Here in New York, pre-rolls are like $15 a shot. Um, an eighth is like $40 a shot. And if you just like smoke every week, an eighth every week, that's like $160 right there. You could easily use towards regular stuff, food, bills, just regular shit. But and people get addicted, and that's what happens. I've got this kid on my Snapchat every day. I'm scrolling through the stories or whatever. He's got a spliff in his mouth. He's driving, and I'm like, how could you live like this? Like I used to smoke a lot too, but like now I'm more in like my drinking phase. You know what I'm saying? Not
Mm.
like I don't drink just to like, I just drink to have fun. I don't drink because like I'm
Yeah.
depressed or anything like
When
that.
they get together or some shit.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you when you pull up to my house, or Eric comes by for like a weekend or whatever, we'll just have fun because we don't see each other that often. You live in downtown Brooklyn. I live more uptown, and Eric lives in Long Island. So it's okay to have a couple of drinks once in a while, go out for a meeting or just like a family dinner or just to get together. It's okay to have a couple drinks, but just try not to abuse it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like just drinking is like I haven't understood how people get like addicted to drinking yet.
Right.
Because I mean, if you just drink whenever you're with your friends, which is like, nowadays it's like, once every week or two,
Right.
then you're most likely not gonna get addicted to it.
Mhm.
So why don't you just only partake in those type of activities when you're with people that you know that you just want to vibe with, you just want to relax, let loose a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Hey, want to end
So
this break?
any more closing statements?
uh
No. All right.
no.
So on that note, we appreciate for everybody that stayed. I don't think this will be a two-parter episode like the last one. So we love all y'all. We appreciate all the support. We're grateful for all the subscribers and the views and the followers that we get. We're going to try and be more active on social media outside of just me posting little bits of the clips for you guys to watch from the episodes. We're going to try and get more involved. But yeah, so that's the end of this episode. Jahmeel, any more things you got to say?
Don't do drugs.
Well said.
Or like
Don't
a
do-
little bit. We
Don't do
condone.
drugs. Don't do drugs.
We don't.
This whole episode is completely educational. We do not condone drugs. We love all y'all, and we will see you in the next episode. A lot of big things coming. Peace.
Bye.
All right, that was good.